What is up, Patreon crew? First, thank you guys so much for the support. Wonderful to have you on board. Welcome to the GR crew. If you are new or if you are a longtime supporter, you are amazing. You're amazing, amazing humans. Thank you very much for allowing us to do this full time. I know that Jamil and Air Vibe are running and Mountain Outpost. They all have the Patreon as well. So if you are supporting the Ginger Runner, consider supporting them as well. They do great, great content. Of course, we're big fans of everything that Jamil and all of them put out. But we've got time with Jamil here. We got 10 or 15 minutes with him for a post show. So all of those questions that didn't get asked during the main show, we can talk about that now. I will just start by saying I am so excited to give away Brian Sands, who's been a longtime supporter here on Patreon. And many of you know him, know his story, are familiar with the name. He reached out a couple of months ago and had reached out to Brian already about giving away a trail camp entry because he has attended this Orcas Island trail camp up here in Washington State. He flew all the way out here to participate in it. It was his first experience trail running ever. And he loved it. He loved it so much. He loved the community. He loves this community. And he really wanted to give back to this community. So this trail camp entry that Brian is giving away is just for GR crew because he knows how much you have helped him in his journey, and he wants to be able to help some of you as well. So he is going to be giving away one entry into this trail camp, and then we are also going to be giving away an entry into this trail camp, which I'm very excited about. The details of this giveaway will be in a separate post from this. So there will be its own Patreon post. It'll be posted for the $1 and above level, so everyone will get a chance to see it. Just know that it will be dropping this week. So if you I don't know if Patreon does this, but if you have it selected where Patreon sends you a weekly update of posts, you may want to just kind of keep your eye on the Ginger Runner Patreon over the next couple of days. So tomorrow is pretty much the day I'm shooting for to get the post up. That will just explain where you go to click the boxes and just enter. We'll have a Google document or Google form where you just go in and you select a couple things and we'll get your entry. And then we'll do a random drawing on Friday. Brian will join us on a quick live stream coming this Friday where we'll announce the two winners. That's pretty much it. I believe I'll work out all the rules and everything like that, but you will have to get to here. The camp is free, but you'll have to get to the camp. That's the only thing. And just make sure that you're available for that time. And all those details will be in the post and stuff like that, but we'll take care of that. On to more Jamil. Jamil is gracious enough to spend a little bit more time with us here in the post show. So let's get to some of these live questions. If you are tuning into the post show here and you have questions that did not get asked during the main show, drop them into the live chat. Kim's got some of those pulled aside.
And also I have to say that every time we talk about Javelina or think about it, I always have the biggest regret for not going. Every year.
So
I'm always why aren't we there?
We'll just say it now. 2019, we're going to be there. It doesn't matter. 2019, we are going to be there.
Yeah.
1000%. We're confirming it now. I'll go whenever. When does registration open?
January 1st.
We will register January 1st.
Come and run the night trail one, if
Siri,
nothing else.
Remind me to register for Javelina 100 on January 1st, 2019.
All right.
Thanks, Siri.
Yes.
It's official when Siri's involved.
Lots of questions in the GR crew chat room. Ian asked, what U.S. race or races do you want to run that you haven't run yet?
Oh, man. U.S. races that I haven't run yet? Oh. I can't even think of any right now.
You should come run Tianaway.
Oh, dude, you got to add it.
Oh, yeah, I did. Actually, yeah, I was able to chat with Ben Gibbard. He came to Phoenix. I was backstage with him after the show, and he was talking about that. He wasn't able to finish it, but he was talking it up.
Not for lack of training. I mean, that guy is super trained and legit. He just had a bad day, bad go of it. But yeah, man, if you want something that's up there with Hard Rock, but probably even closer to a more international race, like a Euro race, it's good. It's hard.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Add it to the list. Sorry, Kim.
Let's see. Megan asked, would you say that Black Canyon 100K is much harder than Javelina 100K?
I think it is harder. It's a little bit, they're different races. So, but I think the fast downhill start of Black Canyon combined with all of the climbing in the back half makes it a tougher race, most definitely.
Great question from Jesse in the chat room. Jesse asked, Jamil, what do you think is the biggest issue in trail running that keeps you up at night?
Biggest issue? I don't think that kind of stuff doesn't keep me up at night. It's mostly like working on the next video or coming up with race ideas. I don't know. What's an issue? I don't know. I can't really think of anything. You guys have anything?
I honestly, as you asked the question, I was like, that is a great question.
But what do
I'm like, well, cheating. Not that it's, I mean, I'm sure it exists, but there's been a lot of cases this year that have, we've seen it happen. And that's kind of one of those things I'm like, I just don't want.
Yeah, it's not, but it's not like this. I don't know that it's like a growing problem that's like an epidemic. It definitely happens, and it's just really sad that it does.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not keeping me up at night. I'm with you though. I think it's videos. It's videos that keep me up at night, like the stress of what's next, or how am I going to edit this, or what's what do I got to do next month?
I mean, for me, one of my biggest challenges, like, and I'll just be honest with everyone, like, the weekly mountain outhouse show is really hard to keep going every week. We haven't missed an episode in like 116 weeks. So to like wrap my head around what's going on this week and try and make it interesting and entertaining. And like, no matter what else I have going on, even Javelina week, I have to sit down and sort through and script and film and do all that. So that's a challenge. And that definitely keeps me up. It keeps me up one night every week because I'm like, I go to sit down to do it, and it's hard for me to focus and get it done, and it's a challenge. It's not something currently that's coming easy, but I don't want to give it up, and I don't want to skip a week, so I just keep doing it. But it's a challenge. So it's in my world in trail running, it's trying to keep track of everything and trying to keep it interesting. I don't just want to talk about race results or the latest FKT. I want to spice it up, and that can be hard sometimes.
I mean, that's just another thing that is on your list of accomplishments, really. I mean, opening up a restaurant, directing multiple races, running a company, being
running
a dad,
your own
running
races,
your own races, training, plus, doing a show like Mountain Outhouse, which is a scripted news aggregate show where you're pulling together a lot of different stories. Having done that in the past, I can attest to the fact that it is a lot of work, and it is a lot of work that goes on in your brain leading up to the actual, like, putting it down on paper or putting it into I can only battle so much of that at a time. That's why I only do reviews now, because reviews are the same way. I'm making notes, I'm scripting it, I'm writing it, and then I'm filming it and then edit. Like, it takes a lot to make scripted content, and I can't. That's why the show is not scripted. That's why the show is as casual as we can make it, while trying to add a little bit of polish and fun to it. Because the second it becomes scripted to the point where it takes like 4 days to create, then it's like, man, we're just going to lose ourselves in that struggle. So I have so much admiration, and I can totally understand what you go through to do those episodes. They're so good. And I know that you have an editor that helps you out, because I can't even imagine writing, shooting, and then editing on top of that.
Yeah. So Michael Carson edits, and he does a fantastic job with the effects, and like, he does additional research. So I do the basics, but he'll pull in and he'll add creative elements that I don't even think of. And it's definitely a two-man partnership, and we put in equal work most definitely every week. And it's great.
And just getting that many sunglasses.
I have to order though. I usually get them like 12 to 15 at a time on Zazzle.com.
Yeah.
And you can create your own from scratch. Sometimes I'll do custom ones. Sometimes I just look for interesting ones. So
I actually didn't know that. I like, we use Zazzle in the past on some things, and some things are garbage, but then other things are like pretty cool. I didn't know you could make your own sunglasses.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
There's a new thing that you learned today. That's the thing. There's a few people asking from the main show, does Aravaipa have any plans to make a 200-mile race? And there's also a few people asking any plans to do anything on the East Coast.
Yeah, I think I actually did talk about this publicly a little bit. I think I would like to work on organizing something like that. I think, like I said earlier, it's a new challenge for us as a company and for me, and that alone
The
is
East
really
Coast thing or the 200?
no, the 200-mile thing. Like it's very appealing to me to put something like that together, and I think after running one now, I can see how it can be such a life-changing event. I mean, 100-milers, all ultra marathons, I think can and are life-changing, especially if it's your first one or I don't know, you just never know. But I think it would be really cool to work on something like that. It's kind of a long-term goal and a culmination of everything we do. I think we could do a really good job at it because of all the experience we have. And yeah, I just love challenges. And I think that might be the next challenge for, me as a race director.
Sweet.
And as far as East Coast, I don't have any plans for that. That just, I don't know. The level of that just seems too insane to go that far away from home to do something. But we might, who knows, we might, go to some more states that are within our reach, within a day's drive of Phoenix, possibly. We just entered Utah this year, and that was definitely a stretch, but a lot of fun. So who knows?
Yeah, there's very few race directors that do that are able to go multiple states away. Candace does it. I think Rain Shadow does it through Oregon.
Well, that's impressive. It's impressive that she can go to Moab and have all the resources. That to me is pretty mind-blowing. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Moab, Tahoe, Bigfoot, Oliver Washington races through destination. Yeah, it's stout, and just the logistics involved and the teams in multiple states. Sorry, let's get to one more question.
Yeah, a question from Deb in the chat room. Deb wants to know if you have any advice or qualifications you would recommend to somebody intrigued by running their first 200.
I would say definitely run. I know a lot of, especially Candace's, they don't, I think, have any qualifications. You can just sign up, which I think some people can do that. But yeah, I'd probably recommend at least doing a few 100-mile races, like 100-mile races. I know for me, doing some through hikes back in the day was helpful. And then for me, just some of the longer, harder hundreds I've done where I've been out there for 37 hours or 41 hours or even Barkley at 50 some hours, I think was really important to do. The kind of interesting thing, Tahoe, I did it in 64 hours with only 3 hours sleep. So that actually, I think, is really good Barkley training. I now have done a 60 plus hour event. I know what that's like. And I think that'll only help me this next year.
If only Tahoe was navigated, like you had to find books. If only Candace just hid books.
Yeah, instead we have like the GPS on our phone. You can just pull it out at any point in time, and you can literally in real time see where your competitors are, which is wild.
That is, I guess I didn't even think about that. We track you on that device.
No, I heard Kyle and Courtney were pulling it up and seeing where they were at later in the race.
That's crazy.
While they're racing each other.
That's crazy. But they were like 2 miles apart. That blows my mind because in reality, like we're saying, they're literally 2 miles apart from each other. How do they not know this or see each other? But then to hear that they're maybe pulling up the live tracking and being able to see that, hey, that probably came into strategy of like, I'm not going to make my move yet. I'm not going to make my move until, interesting. Really, really interesting. Jamil, thanks for taking the time with us tonight, man. I hope you're recovering well. It sounds like you got good 8 hours of sleep last night, which is good.
Ready to go.
Bunch
of Barkley training tonight.
Yeah. It's always great to have you on the show, my friend. My brand. Well, I was going to say my brother.
It's a bro friend.
It's a bro friend.
Okay, got it.
Come on, get with it.
People were also commenting that you guys are wearing like the bro version of friendship bracelets tonight by wearing each other's hats.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it, actually. What did I say? Participation?
I'm
making
so.
up words tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the participation though. Jamil, you rock, my friend.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
And you too, brother. I did it, brother and friend. Brent.
You're a genius.
Patreon crew, thank you guys so much for the support. Go show Jamil some love. And again, keep your eyes open tomorrow for all of the instructions on how to enter the giveaway. Big thank you to Brian Sands for even allowing that to be a thing. Finishing off October with a nice little award, which is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's it. Get out there, train hard, race harder.
You got this.
Harder, the hardest. Wow, it has been a day. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.